Ground rising to all you source connected beings. Well, it's been a while, but I've been in a constant, it feels like a constant transformation this past month. And it started with, 6 weeks, I guess, yeah. And it started 6 weeks ago with the energetic egg, reptilian egg, where I needed to collect um, what's the best word to describe it? Well, a parasite that entered my body during a reptilian experiment that started in 2013 when my body became so sick, my organs, and I started traveling through my organs and I went to different parts through different layers, which I refer to as mineral layers, the 48 mineral layers and the 23 element layers. And and they traveled with me to learn. That's what I know to be true now. But I left them there unconsciously. And so I needed to bring them back into the egg. And there was this reptilian aspect, and I kept it out of my. I distanced myself from it because I because of my contracts and my programming, I've been a part of many experiments, and the experiments I experience physically, always through the physical vessel, and it has been a lot. So it was like, oh yeah, there you have another one. And but I needed to collect, bring home those parasites that were part of that same reptilian, that was part of that same reptilian snake that was brought into my body in 2013. I talked about it before, by the reptilian shapeshifter. And so I did. I brought it all home into the energetic egg, and I just also brought in the reptilian aspect and I alchemized it. And it left my body and my field as this white, white mist, white substance. And and after that experience, my back pain, because I had a very strange back pain, um, and later on, at first I didn't, understand it, the back pain, because it was a different kind of back pain. But then I went back to, I had, well, I had a miscarriage of a twin and another miscarriage. I talked about it before in 2014. I experienced that. It was for also an experiment, you know, bloodline experiment. But I remember the pain I had during, well, labor. It was, oh, how do you call it? It was not truly, but the pain I had during and after. So it was like birthing pains. And in the moment, I realized, oh, birthing pains. Well, it's because I just brought everything back into that energetic egg and I alchemized it. And of course, I gave birth uh, to a new form energy. Um, and that is why I have those back pain. And when it became conscious, of course, when you become conscious of it, it just transforms. So that was the first part of it, and it felt like the ending, the ending of the last experiment period that started in 2013. It felt like the last aspect, that I was, you know, bringing home and alchemized. So, so that was the first part of this 6 weeks of transformation, constant transformation, alchemizing, and now the best part of it, I came to realize through experience, I have access now to the exit of my own source Homevoid. Remember, I told you about my experience of the void and the substance I felt. You know, it for me it felt like when you're in it, you know, there's nothing. There are no, you know, you don't. At least for me, there's just you're just. I was just substance, conscious substance, and it felt like water, watery, gas-like with sparkles. It felt like that. It was just. But when I came out of it and I looked at it from above, I could see it was going very slowly, like a spiral, very slowly as a spiral. And it became narrow, you know, it became from wide, it became narrow. So for me, I had the feeling, oh, they're working here outside. I had the feeling that it was an exit, you know, it was not the ending, it was an exit, some kind of portal. And I never stopped believing that. And now I have experienced it because I found myself back into the portal, back into the void, my own home void exit. And I was, you know, going into the depth of that void, and I found myself bloop back home. And and it's such a funny story. I'm just so excited about it. And so I popped up in my home void, and I found myself in the area uh, where within my home, Cassiopeia, that's my home, and star 23, nearby star 48. Um, and it's all the landscape. It's so beautiful. It's in the substance. First, let me talk about the substance. Is also when I'm there, I'm just consciousness, nothing more. I'm just consciousness, and I do take on form as soon as I connect to consciousness, to a flower or to a tree or to water or to a bird or to another, you know, family member, Cassiopeian family member. Um, I take on form. I don't have to, but I can take on form. And when I take on form, the substance, I don't have physical form, but the substance is like watery, watery, gassy, watery. And the area where I live, star 23, it has the blue sun. You know, I was always talking, you remember I was talking about the blue sun, the true blue sun, and that I was drawing as a child the sun. I made the sun blue because to me the sun, the true sun was blue. Yeah, of course the true sun is blue because my home sun is blue. But there in Cassiopeia is also a green sun. There is this red orange sun. There is this yellow yellow sun, yellow golden sun, and there's one main sun that is white, and the shadow from the main sun, you could say, is the void, the exit entrance point there. And well, and there are all colors. There are all colors, and it constantly changes. It's like there are infinite colors there. It depends on the position of the sun, and the sun is not a sun like we see it here on the screen, but it's like a disc, and And the main sun, you could say the main prisma, the white sun is like made of gas and shining through, but sparkly like a diamond. And that feels like the main station. You know, it's also holographic in nature, Cassiopeia, and it's very big. I've only I only went to my own part where I'm from, and with the blue sun, and it's well, you know, I've cried with Avatar. Why? Because of the huge trees, you know, and there on Star 23, the area where I come from, the trees are like the trees in Avatar, but then 10 times bigger, maybe 15 times bigger. And they are standing in an ocean, you know, also on land, but it's more water than land. The area where I am, you could say, the mother of the forests and the water, something like that. I take care of everything there, and I will talk about it. It's so wonderful. Um, um, where was I going with that? I'm not sure, but let's move on. So I'm consciousness there, and and there you well, it's beyond your imagination. That is why I have such a, you know, sparkly imagination, because everything is possible. That's why I always say everything is possible, because everything is possible there. And that's why, you know, what I do is I connect through consciousness. We don't speak there. We don't have telepathic contact there. We just connect, you know, from consciousness to consciousness. And everything has sound there. Everything has sound. So as soon as I connect to a flower, I connect it to a flower, and there are flowers made of porcelain, you know, cup of tea, that material, the hard porcelain. It's very hard but beautiful, and very big, and the trees I have like feathers, and they're very big, and it's just it's and there are I'm in the winged area, and there are all those birds, and winged well, horses, and well, everything is winged there. I have wings also if I take on form. um, and I'm bluish purple in color, and my whole skin is like, well, there's no skin, but it's like watery substance. And I can it's like there are all these, well, you could say henna, you know, henna paintings, well, not like that, but something like that, and it's going through all my skin. My head is like this, it's very big. I have a very long neck, and I'm very big. I'm very big, like you cannot imagine, so big, very big. And oh yeah, the flower. So what I did, I connect to the flower just as, and with no form. I'm just consciousness. I connect to the flower. In that moment, I can decide to take on form, and so I did, you know. And I could feel the wings, and it's like a butterfly, fairy-like form. Um, and in that moment, I receive the sound from the flower. Everything, including the leaves, everything has sound there. I receive it, and I receive it as how you call it, as food, as food. That's the food. So I receive it as food, and in that same moment, when I receive the sound as food, the form goes away of the flower, and oh, and the form goes away. It becomes no form, just substance, like water, gassy water, and it has no color anymore. And then I can make a new flower. And so it's I just constantly well, yeah, you can just change everything. And and um, it's exactly what I described in my children book, Loveland. Loveland is my home area, Star 23 in Cassiopeia. You know, it's exactly what I wrote down in that children book, Loveland. And it's so funny how everything just, we already know it. I was born on 23 August, star 23. And I have been working, guided through my source to work with the 23 element layers and the 48 mineral layers, 23, 48, and um, with all the colors. And, the overlap of the element structure within our bodies here is very similar to how things work in Cassiopeia, but not as advanced as there. That is why the parasites wanted to travel with me, want to learn and experiment on me. So well, so so that is why I always say write down everything you don't understand, but feels important. You write it down in your diary, and just, there will come a time and it will all click together and you will know. And just trust, all is within, already within. And the only thing you have to connect to is yourself, your own source, and, and nothing else. Nothing else. All is within. And so I'm going to explore more, of course, because I can go everywhere there now, through my own exit point, my own void, source void to home. So if you're from a gas, fiery environment back home, then it's, very possible that your void experience, your exit point, feels like that, feels fiery, very hot, gassy, So it depends on the substance you are made of back home, your true home. That's the substance you experience in your exit void back home. So we all have our own unique void. And yeah, so that's huge. For me, it's huge. So that's why I'm sharing. And, and so be conscious and go back and for a moment. And what were the things that made the greatest impression, you could say, on my heart space, like, whoa, were flashes, short flashes I experienced of home, of Cassiopeia, and it started in 1995 when I had my first experience as this, well, you could call it a butterfly-like very being made of watery substance and all colors, but the main color is blue, blue, purple. That is why I love the colors purple and blue. I just, well, I this time, no, another color, but usually I just always about blue and purple. So I had in 1995 my first experience, and that was home. That was just, letting me know that's your home. And I was flying, and these huge flowers. I couldn't believe these flowers and so big. And I was so big. And yeah, and then later on, I don't know, during the shiatsu, I guess, I started studying at shiatsu uh, school in Den Haag, for the elements, the minerals, and all the 48 layers and the 23 layers that are part of that. And yeah, and I was born. Oh, this I'm going into all directions, but I was born. My name is Esther. I call myself Kisena, but my birth name is Esther. Esther. So in French and Italian, it means star. Star. My last name in Dutch is Bosma, and in English, translated to English, it's mother and forest. So mother of the forest. So star, mother of the forest, and I was born in the house, and the name of the street was Blue Grass. The blue sun, grass green. Yeah, so It's and I was born on 23, 23 star 23 of August, and yeah, so it's and I had this experience. I don't think it was 2012, I guess. Yeah, my first time I went through a water spiral, a water substance spiral. When I travel, it's just I'm there, or if the distance is longer, I think there's a period I go through a water spiral. Substance of home. It's not truly water, but it's the best reference. And there was this another experience that stayed with me, and it was also a home experience. And I went through a water spiral with all the sparkles and all the colors, and suddenly there was this. I stopped, and there was this little guy, and he was like, "You have to go here to the right." And I just and who are Enki? He referred to himself as Enki, and I was like, "Oh, Enki, oh Enki, fuck off, Enki, no way." So I went further along in the water spiral, and then I ended up with the woman we know as Istar. Istar was standing at the pyramids and waving and come, and this is where you need to go. So I was standing in front of a black hole, like a black nothingness, and it felt okay. So I felt like, yeah, I like to go there. So I jumped in, and it was like, and then I found myself in that substance, that same substance. So I have back home, and I was flying above four lands, you could say, in bubbles, and that looked a bit like Earths. And one of them, I tuned into them, and but the distance was very. I was seeing it from above. There was a lot of distance, but I tuned in, and there was one that had, the water and the forest with the huge trees and the animals you don't know, we don't know here. And so it was already what I saw. And it's like my area there. And it's star 23, star 48, star 55. If you, and that's the fun thing also, if you count all the numbers of my birth, date, month, a year, and the time, my time is 23 hour and 55 minutes, 23:55. If you, 555, and this, so there, and star 55. So star 55, 48, 23, and 3. Yeah, and 3. I believe, yeah, 3. It was 3. Maybe it was another, but I believe, but I'm sure of 55 and 23 and 48. So they already showed, I already saw it, but I was not realizing it was my home. It was just a wonderful experience, but and that was it. Nothing further happened, that was it. And after that experience, there was suddenly that horse, that snowflake. I called him Snowflake. What it was an aspect of me, an aspect from home, in my case, and another spirit animal, just an aspect from home, and guiding me. And he assisted me in the beginning with um, finding my way, through all the dimensions. Well, they're more like holographic cells, but so he was my map guide, you could say. And later on, I integrated him. I didn't need him anymore, and I could find my way. But he told me that it was time to write a children book, and so I did. I wrote Loveland. I made a painting of it, and during the painting, the story, came true. And the story of Loveland, the children's story of Loveland, it's exactly my home. Exactly, exactly. and everything. Elia, the main character in the book, her name is Elia. Uh, what she can do, I can do back home. So it's wonderful. I'm just, it's so that's big news. We all have our own void experience and own exit point, ascension point. Not ascension, but you know what I mean. It's descension point, because I looked up Store 23, Cassiopeia, and I came to Skynet or something. Yeah, Skynet or something. And the coordinates, well, it's not surprising, of course, the coordinates, the distance, and also, yeah, there was ascension point and the degrees. Well, but of course, it was 48, it was 3, it was 23, it was 3. So it was, so it's all there, but we become conscious of it fully when we have brought home all our shattered soul pieces. Yeah. And then we have then we can, be with our consciousness home, even though we are in this construct. And yeah, and I needed to go to those 2348 element mineral layers, and I needed to work with others, to show them, where there are soul aspects, and rewrite the story in a way, because that's what I do. I rewrite the story. I rewrite endings, and I have Jupiter as my domicile lord, and in the astro chart, and that's also, about rewriting the ending, and we are so powerful. We are so powerful. So I don't believe in one ending. I don't believe with I. I just, there are scenarios and about the ending, and of course we are at the end of the reset, but for me there is no fixed ending. I don't believe in a fixed ending because we are so powerful. So just felt like sharing that with you guys. Oh, and another thing, a brother of mine and a very dear friend, he recently had a astro chart reading with Lalita, and he shared the video with me. It was wonderful, and well, one of his gifts, in his essence, he's Lyran, and so and he has also his own void exit point, and experience it in the substance of his home, and so where was I going? Oh yeah, he is like the map of this construct. He has this map of the construct, and he looks through the eyes of Polaris. Polaris, the prisma, and so he has the map, and he's one who has the map. So, and as the way I see it, I can rewrite endings. So there are two stories of two source connected beings, and we all are so very, very powerful. So who's to say that we cannot rewrite the ending? So for me, there's no fixed ending. Yeah. Well, that's it for now. Oh, I have decided to stop doing, the element readings, because I don't have the time for it, I just feel like painting now, painting my home, making drawings, painting my home, and just be there as much as I want to, explore the whole of Cassiopeia. And yeah, and we'll see, what this year is going to bring. Yeah. Just remember, be the observer. Don't attach to anything. Don't call upon anything outside of your field. Everything is already within you. It only needs to unfold. And you need to demagnetize the programs and bring home the soul aspects and just do the work, keep doing the work. And because you are already whole, as you know. And trust. Stay in your trust no matter what. Trust, trust, trust. You know the exit. You know. You already know. It's all within you. So have no doubt. You know exactly how to get home. So much love from me to you. Bye for now.